Hello, my name is ZZ, and in this video I'm going to show you how to update your PlayStation Vita from a lower version to version 3.60. At first, it's important to note that this does not work if your PlayStation Vita is running a version higher than 3.60. You cannot downgrade a PlayStation Vita. Please stop asking. So as you can see, my PlayStation Vita is running the version 3.36. This is lower than version 3.60, so we're able to upgrade to version 3.60 if we do it properly. Problem is, if you use the official update methods, then you have a problem because that version, that method will give you the most up-to-date version that Sony provides, which is version 3.65, and that's not what we want. So we cannot use the Wi-Fi update. We can also not use the PlayStation 3 update because the PlayStation 3 is just going to contact the internet and then it's going to download the most recent version. So we're going to use this update via PC. And before we do this, we have to, on our PC, we have to install a few files and download a few files so this can work. So this will work properly in our PlayStation Vita. So let's go to our computer, set up everything that's necessary, and then we connect our Vita to our computer via a USB cable, and then we can update to version 3.60 if we do everything properly. Okay, on our computer we need to install a few programs so our PlayStation Vita can be properly updated to version 3.60. Actually, I think we only need one program, and this is QCMA. With QCMA we have a powerful cross-platform content manager assistant for the PlayStation Vita. This is not the normal stupid version that Sony provides. This was made by CodeStation, and this one is available for Windows, Mac, and Linux as far as I know. So what we're going to do with this QCMA is that we will redirect the update file from the most recent version to a version we want. And since I'm on Windows, I'm just downloading this Windows installer. What we also need is the PlayStation Vita updater for the version 3.60. You can just click download, and then it's going to download this. This might take a while depending on your internet connection, but whatever. Okay, when the download is done, we have a QCMA file which we will be able to use to install QCMA on our computer. I already installed this on my computer, and I started this on my computer, so I have this little icon in my taskbar. If I right click the icon, I get a few options, and I just click on settings because we need our settings. One important thing is we need to locate this update/web content path. For me, it's in D documents QCMA update, but you can change this to any folder you want. So if you click on the browse button, you can just select any other folder, but I'm keeping this one. Just important that you know where this is located, and then because we have to go to this folder at a later stage. We next click on other. We click on offline mode if this is not already checkmarked. This is important. Then we can skip photo, video, and music scanning because those things are not important. Then we will also put a check mark on ignore local file, and then we have to use this version for updates. We change it to custom. We could change it to firmware 360 Henkaku, then our Vita says it found version 360, but if we change it to custom and we give it a random version, one preferable that doesn't exist, like 342 or whatever, we can be 100% sure that this update file redirection is working. What's also important is we have CMA protocol selection and CM protocol version. If the latest one does not work for your outdated PlayStation Vita, you can click on this, go to manual, and then change the protocol version to the version that matches your PlayStation Vita. Keep in mind, if it says 3.30, this means every PlayStation Vita firmware that starts with 3.3 whatever. So it doesn't matter if it's 330 or 331 or 336, whatever, it's sharing the same version. Same applies to 3.10, like if it's 310, 15, 18, whatever, it doesn't matter. Special mention, if your PlayStation Vita is running a version 3.20, then I think you're supposed to use the protocol version for 3.10 as well. And so on, you have a lot of the older versions. Since my device was running 3.36, I'm using the protocol version for 3.30. Okay, the download seems to be done. and in there we have a few files. We have this pre-system and the regular file. We drag and drop this regular file out of the archive, and close this stuff, and we have this PS Vita OFW 360 zip which we open. In there is a PSP2 update.pub file which we also drag and drop because we need this one. When this is extracted, we will copy or move it to the location where our update web content is located. For me it would be D documents QCMA update. So I'm going to my D documents QCM update, and usually this folder is empty, but I was testing a few things, so I have 2 files in there, but they're not important. So what we're going to do is we copy it into this folder, so we paste it, and now we have this PSP2 update.pub file in this folder. And the next thing we have to do is we connect our PlayStation Vita to our computer, and after we did this, our PlayStation Vita should find a new update if we use the system updater, and it's going to find the update version which we configured in this one. If you use this 360 update string, then it's going to say it found version 360. If you use a custom string, it's going to find whatever version you put in here. Just keep in mind that you have to follow this pattern. So this number pattern. So just choose a number that looks similar to this one, and keep in mind it has to be a higher number than the version that's currently installed. So since I've currently installed version 3.36, I have to use at least 3.37 or a higher one. But I'm using 3.42 because there's technically no version 3.42. So if my Vita says it found version 3.42, we know this redirection is working. So if you're happy with everything that's configured, just press OK. And if your QCMA has problems connecting your PlayStation Vita, you can close this one and then reopen it. Also, refreshing database might help. So the next thing is again PlayStation Vita, and then we have to install the update, and after the update is installed, we can continue with installing the actual custom firmware. Okay, next we connect our PlayStation Vita via a USB cable to our computer, and our QCMA program should say connected to, then it displays your PlayStation Network name, and then it says PlayStation Vita. Also on our PlayStation Vita we see that the content manager bubble is flashing, so the Vita knows it's connected to a PC that can or is running a CMA version. Just in our case it's a modified version of the CMA. So next we go to System Update, go to Update by connecting to your computer, and it should find the update. Now it says it found update version 3.42. That's good. We click on Next, we click on Continue. And it should fetch the file that we need. It says version 1.4, blah blah blah. We scroll down, click on Accept, and we click on Update. Now it's going to copy the update file from the computer onto our PlayStation Vita, and after the file has been copied from the computer to the Vita, it's going to reboot the Vita and going to update the firmware. And as we've seen, it said it found version 3.42. There is no version 3.42, so we know it has to be our spoofed modified version. Well, not version, but file. Okay. There we go. Now we don't need the USB cable anymore. This means we can simply go back to the previous place. There we go. Currently it's verifying the update file. If you try to use this trick to downgrade the Vita version, it will say this updater cannot be used on this PlayStation device. But since this is an official updater and not an older version, this is going to work properly and this is going to succeed. And after we're done with this, it should show the version 3.60 on our slim PlayStation Vita. This does of course also work with the old fat PlayStation Vita. It's the same updater file. You can also use the same QCMA file. You can use the same trick for everything. Just for the PlayStation Vita TV, or by its Western name PlayStation TV or PS TV, we will have to use the USB stick to update our PS TV to the version 3.60, because as far as I know, the PlayStation TV does not work with QCMA. Okay, if everything went fine, we should have version 3.60. Now it's updating the database. If there was a mistake, we will have the most recent version and then we can't use the custom firmware. But everything should have been fine. Let's check the version in the settings. Hopefully it's not the latest version, because then I would have messed up. And as you can see, it's version 3.60. So now that we have version 3.60 in our PlayStation Vita, we can continue and we can Wi-Fi and we can install the Henkaku custom firmware on this device. So I'm going to start this web browser and I'm going to enter the address henkaku.xyz, and then we get this website, install. Sometimes you get errors in the web browser when it's trying to install Henkaku. Just click on OK and try it again. If you get like 5 errors in a row, it's recommended to close the browser and retry it. But this time it worked on the second try, and now it's going to download a few files and then it's going to install an additional application onto our PlayStation Vita. As you can see, this takes a while, but after this is done, we should be back at the main menu, and now we should notice a new application on our Vita. It says molecularShell, and if I click on this and start it, I get this application. Okay. To enable, okay, start, then we can click X to configure Henkaku in the settings, and it's going to open the settings menu, and we can click on Henkaku settings. You can enable PSN spoofing, so we can visit the PlayStation network despite having an older version. This doesn't always work. When Sony releases a new version, this needs a small update, but for now it's working. Then I click on spoofed version. Currently I'm spoofing it to version 3.65, so we can use the PlayStation network, and what we have to do is we have to enable the unsafe homebrew feature, so we can continue while installing the Ensō custom firmware. I'm going to close molecularShell and reopen it. There we go. Now we're in the unsafe mode, as you can see at the top, and we go to UX0, and then we have a few folders in here, and now we click select, and it's going to start an FTP server connection. What we have to do now is, on our computer, we need FileZilla to connect to our PlayStation Vita. Then we drag and drop a file onto our PlayStation Vita. Then it's going to appear in this list as well, and then we can install the Ensō custom firmware. So we have to go back to the computer for now, and then we go back to the PlayStation Vita. Okay, back on our computer, we will need the Ensō file for the custom firmware, which we can get on this website. The website URL is ensō.henkaku.xyz, and we get the file if we click on this box and download it. This is strange for a foe. Okay, okay, this is really strange. Last time I tested this, it was working fine, and we could download the file. Well, I still have the file on my computer, so we have here the Ensō.vpk file. So I assume there was a problem and they have to update the file, but whatever. When this is back and you click on this file, it should properly download. And when it properly downloads, we will have to use FileZilla. If you don't already have FileZilla on your computer, you can download it from this website. I'm going to put the link in the description as well. And then we open FileZilla. We go to File, Server Management, click on New Server, and then we enter the IP address slim that is currently displayed on our PlayStation Vita, and it's displaying 1.192.168.178.43, and the port is 1337, very lead, and the protocol version has to be FTP. So if everything's fine, we click on connect, and we should connect to our PlayStation Vita. Then we go to the UX0 directory, and we see we have various folders here, and those two files, icon layout, ID layout, whatever. So we go back to our Enso file and drag and drop it onto the FileZilla and put it here, and it's going to transfer. It says everything successfully transferred, and now we're pretty much done with the part on the computer. So the last step is going to be on the PlayStation Vita itself, where we then will install the proper custom firmware. Okay, now that everything was transferred, we can press circle to cancel the FTP connection, and you should notice that a new file popped up on your PlayStation Vita, this Ensō.vpk file. We just press X to install it. It's going to ask yes, press yes, and it says the package requests extended permissions. That's what we enabled in the settings, so we can properly install it, even though it requires more permissions than usually. This is a security feature, by the way, so malicious software can't hurt your PlayStation Vita unless you explicitly enable this extended mode. Okay, we will have a new bubble on our PlayStation Vita, which is called Enso, and if we click on it, we get this bubble, and click on this, and we can start now. So the font is a bit small, but if I go closer to the camera, and hopefully the focus can make it sharp. There we go. We press circle to confirm this message that we've read it, and you should read it. And then we have a few more functions, and if we press cross, it's going to install the hack. And hopefully everything is going to be fine. For now, it looks like everything is fine. Everything is successfully installed. It says press any key to reboot. Well, the Vita doesn't really have an any key, so we're just going to press X. So now the Vita should reboot, and the first thing we notice is that the Vita has a new icon during the boot. It's the molecular icon, and our PlayStation Vita just fully rebooted. Let's see if I can change the focus so the picture doesn't look so shitty. Okay, now we go to settings now and go to start. You can see that the system version is 3.60 Henkaku 10. So even though we just fully rebooted our device, we are in this hacked mode with our custom firmware. And what we can do with this is pretty simple. We can run emulators, we can run PlayStation Portable games, we can run PlayStation 1 games, and so on and so on. We can even run the PlayStation Portable XMB, like the old UI of our PlayStation Portable. More about this in the other video I've uploaded about the Enso custom firmware. So this is how you update the version of your older PlayStation Vita, and then you can install the Henkaku Enso custom firmware. That's basically it. More information are of course available on Twitter, on the wololo.net website, and on other websites. So far, that's it. I'm going to do a video on the PlayStation TV as well. I have one, but it's going to be a bit tedious to record it because I don't have a screen recorder for it. So I will see how I deal with recording the PlayStation TV, like the little TV box, because it's using the same Vita software. But for now, this covered the old Vita, the new Slim Vita, covered the current version, well, what current version, now the version 360, and updating to 360, so you can use this. So I think that's everything. I'm the Dad, and see you soon.